Hey everyone, it's Andrew with Rip Gym. I want to take a moment and talk about, talk about just the cornerstones of my training. Basically, the things I really lean on when designing programs for either myself or my clients. Training philosophy is kind of the same. Just the details are obviously adjusted, but the ideas stay similar. So I think in another one of my videos, I said that I had three pillars of training. I guess I should. It's really like three and a half. I'm gonna just go over four separate points in this video just to make it a little easier. I don't know, like two of the points I think kind of blend together, but we'll just do four separate points just for simplicity's sake. So let's just dive right into it. Most important, strength comes first. The reason for that being is that strength offers you basically the most bang for your buck out of any physical attribute. Whether your goals are like muscle building, weight loss, if you have like athletic goals like for a sport like football, soccer, hockey, rugby, whatever it is, actual like lifting, sport related goals, powerlifting, CrossFit, weightlifting, strongman, bodybuilding, whatever it might be. Whatever your goals are, or just general health and fitness, strength is going to be the one of the main things that's going to help you get there. If you have like athletic goals, you want to run faster or jump higher. If you get stronger in your lower body, you're going to be able to run faster and jump higher. If you want to build muscle, you need to get strong enough to handle a substantial amount of weight for multiple, for reps in the 8 to 12 range, to stimulate your body to build muscle. If you have strength-oriented goals, and obviously strength is going to be a huge part of that. If you just want to be healthier, then getting stronger is going to help you get there too. And same thing for weight loss. If you build muscle, you're just going to build strength. You'll build some muscle just inadvertently, and that extra muscle is going to help you just increase your overall metabolic rate, and it's going to help promote the growth of healthy functional tissue and the loss of fat. So no matter what goal you have, strength is going to be one of the best ways to help you get there. It's not the only thing, but it is the number one priority, at least in my philosophy. So strength comes first. Number two then would be just keep it simple. The shortest way from point A to point B is always a straight line, right? So think of your long-term goals in the same way, right? If you want to get from point A to point B, take the simplest, most direct way to get there. I know that sometimes fancy, crazy, complicated stuff seems like it would work better because of the fact that it's fancy, crazy, and complicated, but it's not always the case. I found personally that simple stuff works best for me and works best for a lot of my clients as well. If you take a look at like 5-3-1, for example, it's an extremely simple template. Jim Wendler even claims that that's why he wanted to do it. Just create something simple that worked for a long time. So again, like simple stuff works really well as long as it's still well thought out and well constructed. And the other thing is, if you or a client or someone doesn't respond, that well to simple programming, then that's okay. Then you can kind of fancy it up a little bit and make stuff, a little, think of alternative ways to get to the same goal, and then those will work. And you can always make stuff tougher, more complicated as you need to. But if the simple thing works, why not do it? It's going to be easier to mentally commit to and stick to, and it's just going to keep your mind on your training instead of just like the details of how exactly to do stuff. It just can let you focus your energy on the actual lifting itself, rather than details that may or may not be relevant. And then from a trainer's perspective, if you're working with clients, you want to keep stuff simple so they don't feel overwhelmed, and so they feel good about what they're doing, so they actually understand and comprehend and start to learn the stuff that you teach them. Hopefully, if you're a trainer, you're not just leading people along blindly and saying, do this, without explaining why and without having them know and learn why it's important to them. So keeping stuff simple goes a long way towards that end, because you're helping them learn, and they're going to feel better and kind of feel empowered because they are learning this stuff and because they feel like they are getting the hang of it. So again, just keep it simple as much as you can. Third main pillar that I holds up my training philosophy would be to train movements, not muscle groups. Now, if you're a bodybuilder, you can feel free to disregard everything I'm going to say in the next 2 minutes or so. But from pretty much any other perspective, except for like a physique type of lifter, I think that would be better off training movements instead of muscle groups. It just for me, it kind of helps me visualize my training a little better. You don't get bogged down in details of like, okay, so the do deadlifts go on leg day or back day, or okay, does incline benching chest or shoulder day, reverse flies back day or shoulder day. Just like there's just too many, just lots of questions and stuff like that. So I think if you train movements instead of muscle groups, it gets a lot simpler. The main movements I'm talking about would be push, pull, squat, hinge, carry. That would be like the Dan John model, or in our college curriculum we learned push, pull, squat, lunge, rotation, or if you, it again depends on how how in depth you want to get. You could go like vertical pull, vertical push, horizontal pull, horizontal push, squat, lunge, hinge, carry, or rotation there if you want. There's like 9. Again, it really just depends on how in depth you want to get with it. I prefer to keep stuff simple, so I personally just follow push, pull, squat, lunge, hinge, carry. So I basically just add a lunge onto what Dan John's central 5 are. Rotation, I have some people do rotation work. It's just not like a huge priority in what I do. But again, I just think of stuff in terms of movements, and then that also kind of gets, from a trainer's perspective, it gets clients' minds on instead of okay, I have leg day, I have chest day, I have arm day or back day or whatever. Get something like I'm training my squats today. Okay, I want to increase the weight that I'm squatting. I want to put numbers on numbers on the squat, and that kind of helps cement goal number 1. Build strength. And if you get them focused on the habits and the process, then their goals come along a lot sooner than you would think. And then if they're a little slower making progress, then they're not super caught up in the lack of progress, not super worried about it, because their mind's kind of shifted to, again, addressing the behavior and the fact that okay, we're trying to add strength on the squat, we're trying to add strength on their rowing, we're trying to add strength on their press, whatever it might be. And the progress will come sooner or later. Some people don't progress as much, or as quickly, I should say. Some people progress very quickly. Just kind of depends on the person and how exactly they're training. But if you keep their minds focused on just adding a little bit of weight to the bar every time they train, a lot of other stuff falls into place. And again, making the mental shift from movements to muscle groups will help them, because if you tell them, oh, hey, we're training back today, I'm not seeing definition of my back yet. Oh, we're doing core today. Oh, I don't have a 6-pack yet. What's wrong? What am I doing wrong? Just kind of puts them in the wrong state. So I think training movements kind of helps them, the mental aspect of their training as well. And then this also helps from a programming standpoint. This kind of helps me with my 4th point, which is kind of the one that 3 and 4 kind of get matched together. But point number 4 would be keep stuff balanced. Like I said, if I have chest day, back day, and stuff like that, then it's easy to program 10 different benching variations and only a few sets of lat pulls and be done. And it's a mistake that a lot of people make. When you think about stuff in terms of movements, it's easier to keep stuff in balance. Okay, on this day, we have 3 pushing variations and 2 deadlift variations. Okay, the next day we should have 3 pulling variations and 2 squat variations, stuff like that. Or you can do a full body workout and include push, pull, squat, lunge, hinge, and carry, if you're going to do it on that day, in the all in the same workout. However you split it up or balance it out is up to you. I'm a big fan of full body workouts. I'm also a big fan of upper lower splits or push pull splits. It's just however you want to split it. Depends on you, or depends on the client that you're programming for. They all work really well. So again, that's just a minor detail, but basically just keeping stuff in balance, keeping your upper and lower body work relatively balanced. If anything, I have people do more lower body work than upper body work. Keeping your pushing and pulling, or your chest and back stuff, balanced. Keeping your squatting and hinging, or squatting and deadlifting, relatively balanced. And if anything, just erring a little more on the side of your pulling, so your hinging and then your back work. For most people, it's going to benefit them more. So if you're going to be skewed in your balance, be skewed in terms your posterior chain. But overall, just keeping that stuff balanced. Or even someone who has a few goals. If you're a CrossFitter who likes to do some powerlifting meets, like me, keeping it balanced in your CrossFit specific training and your powerlifting specific training. If you're just a bodybuilder, power bodybuilder, power builder, however you want to think of it, same idea. Balancing your bodybuilder training with your powerlifting. If you're if you like doing powerlifting and strongman, or CrossFit, and you like to do some weightlifting meets, just keeping all that stuff in balance. Just the general modes of your training is also important as well. So again, no matter who it is, or who you're programming for, or if it's yourself, just keeping the training you're doing balanced in some way. I'm not saying it's wrong to specialize. If you're a specialized powerlifter, yeah, squat, bench, deadlift all day. But you still need to keep your squatting, your deadlifting, deadlifting, and benching balanced with in relation to each other, right? You wouldn't deadlift 3 times in a week and not squat. So the same idea. No matter what your sport or your goals, balance the individual parts of them well, so that you can continue moving forward. So in summary, strength first, keep it simple, movements, not muscle groups, and keep stuff balanced. Those are the 4 things that I really stand on. The details kind of sort themselves out once you stick to those principles. But every time I have like a question with my programming or a fork in the road, I kind of look back to those principles, and they kind of help guide me through my own training and the stuff I program for my clients as well. So thank you for watching, and let me know what you think.